All right, my friend and Jen. Well, today I want to do something a little bit different. It's just you and me. I figured if we have others, we'll do the regular presentation, but I wanted to piggyback off of the conversation that we had about LED lights because people aren't aware of how detrimental they are to your health. So let me pull up. I had already just pulled up. I'm going to share my screen with you. I'm going to share with you what I started to just so that I can show people, kind of proof, if you will, of certain things. Like, for example, when let's see, I want to show you the screen. So in 1962, you know how I say it's been about 50 years, been 50, 60 years. Well, I just did this little research as to when did LED lights come out? Well, apparently they were invented in 1962 by a gentleman named Nick Holniak, and he invented the first LED lights. Now, I'm not saying that LED lights are a horrible invention or that we shouldn't have any of them around, because we definitely need them for a lot of the devices that we have. But we do need to be aware of what the consequences and the benefits are from using LED lights. So if you look here, you see that LED lights first came out in 1962. And then if you look at the rates of diabetes from 62 to present, you'll see that the level of diabetes, for example, back in the 60s, let's see, if I just do rates of diabetes, in 1962, the prevalence of diagnosed diabetes in the US population increased from 1.8 to 5.8. So that's 6 times more diabetes from 60s all the way till the 2000s. And if you go to 2023, because we don't have the numbers for 2024 yet, you will see just over the last 10 years, you'll see that the increase was over 10%. And let's see, the rate, now this is very alarming. The number of adults with diabetes in the world increased anywhere, it says here, 28 to 39%. It says due to population growth and aging, but it's also because of all sorts of environmental factors. And one of them being, LED lights is just one of the things. I'm just wanting people to be aware, because we all have electronic devices in our homes. We use them every day, not being aware of some of the culprits and some of the things that we can do to offset that and change our light environment so we have benefits instead of consequences. So here you go. You see from 1.8 all the way to 39.7%. That's pretty alarming. Let me see if I can pull up some of the research studies on so here, this one is letting us know about how it influences the circadian rhythm, influencing our sleep quality. We've known this for actually kind of a long time. But the interesting thing, because people aren't thinking about this, is that we're light beings, we're electrical beings. So anything with electricity is having a pull or a push on our energy. So our circadian, everything in our body is chemistry. We have 56 trillion cells. 56 trillion, not billion, not million, trillion cells in the body. Each one of those cells, each molecule in the body has electrons. The fluids in our body, we have cerebral spinal fluid that coats our brain, and it goes down our spinal column and it spreads throughout our body. And we have blood, and in the fluids of our body, we have electrolytes. Both electrolytes and electrons are little packets of electricity, which is why we are light beings. It sounds kind of airy-fairy to call us light beings, but that's quite literally what we are. We're primarily made up of water. Water is the best conductor of electricity. Therefore, it's part of our life force energy. We all know that if you rub your hands together, you rub your hands like that together, and that increases the energy going to your hands. Your hands and your eyes take 45% of the real estate, and you could feel the energy inside your hands. You can even feel it expanding your hands if you relax. That's an energy ball that you have created. And you can actually use that energy ball to heal yourself, to heal others. You can do all sorts of things with that energy. But that, if I had spectrograph, I could actually, you would be able to see that energy ball, and you would be able to measure the joules of energy that's created from that. And in Tai Chi, there's many different practices, but let's say Tai Chi, because I've studied Tai Chi and Qigong, we mold and we use that energy, and we bring it up and we bring it down, and we pull energy also from the heavens, and we pull it from the bottom of the earth. We'll spin that energy ball and we'll use it to heal another human being, or you can use it to heal yourself. Or for those who practice Tai Chi and Qigong, and they're in the martial, it's kind of the same thing, the martial arts versus the healing arts. The principles are all the same. It's what you use, the intention with what you're using the energy for, if you're using it for self-defense, or if you're using it to restore your body, somebody else's body. Heck, you can even manipulate the weather with this, but we're not going to get into that. But it is energy, in short, and so you felt it, you didn't feel it when your hands were just playing, but if you actually just take your hands, and even now you hold up your hands, and sometimes you can feel like a little tingly sensation. You can feel that heat. In fact, we've all felt the sensation of being by ourselves, and all of a sudden you have a feeling of a presence or a person being next to you, and it's because you felt the energy, the light that's inside your body, that those electrons, they're not contained just within the skin walls. They actually emanate out of you. That's what creates your auric field. In science, we call it your torus or your toroidal field. Okay. And so that is actual energy. So we interact with all the energy around our environment. And one of the biggest, separate from the sun, one of the biggest influencers to our environment that we live on a day-to-day basis is the lighting that we have in our home. Whether it's a lighting fixture, recessed lightings, or lighting fixtures on the ceiling, or the lights that you have from all the components in your home with LED lights, which when you start to count, just count in your kitchen. You have your refrigerator. Let's start counting them. Refrigerator, your cappuccino maker, your electric water pot. You have your Ninja. Maybe you have a blender, bread maker, oven, stove, microwave. We're already up to 9. And if you have other gizmos and gadgets that maybe you have a food processor, that would be 10. Maybe you have a pasta maker, that would be 11. Maybe you have a what do you call it? One of those mixer bowls. I have one, mine's in storage right now because it doesn't fit in this kitchen. But you could have 10 or 12 different gizmos and gadgets, all of which have LED lights on them. And you're completely unaware that every time you go into a light environment that is full of LEDs, like a supermarket, like a store, like an office, like a hospital, like any place of business, including your car, including a train, including a plane, including a boat, because all of them have LED light panels, every single one of them, whether it's an old-fashioned car, from the 90s, the 80s, or if it's a newer car or an electric car, they all have LED instrumentation, right? And they have that blue light toxicity because now cars also have computer screens with GPS. We've had that for, I don't know, 10, 15 years, something like that. So all those LEDs cause inflammation in the body. Oh my gosh. If you have chronic inflammatory diseases and conditions, do you think it's maybe good to be aware of your LED light environment and know that you can do something about it? Because we can't get rid of all these LED lights. That's impossible. It's the world that we live in. Every little gizmo or gadget that you buy now has LED lights in it, decorative lights. Heck, now all the Christmas trees have LED lights on them as well. I mean, your vacuum cleaner, your hand vac, your electric toothbrush, it's endless, right? But if you know that these things cause inflammation, well, then you might take steps to maybe offset some of it, separate from, of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you, you can offset a lot of it with these stem cell activation patches. But in addition to that, let's say you don't want, I would never tell you what to do, but let's say you don't want to do the stem cell activation patches and you want to still find different things that you can do to offset the damage that you're getting of inflammation from the LED lights. But the second thing that you also get is, oh my gosh, you also get the breakage of your DHEA fountain of youth hormone is destroyed with LED lights. Now think about how egregious Needless to say, that is causing inflammation in your body. And then the third thing that happens with the exposure to LED lights is that it causes insulin resistance. Well, isn't that kind of alarming? Which again, it goes back to why we went from 1.8 to 39.7% increase in people diagnosed with diabetes globally. From 1962, which is when LED lights started, to this very moment in time. I'm going to say till now in 2024, even though the numbers for 2024 won't be out until first quarter of next year. So let's say till 2023. That's a significant increase, 1.8 to 39.7. That's 4 out of every 10 people. Now, if that's not disturbing to you, I got to tell you, it's very disturbing to me to think that 4 out of 10 people have diabetes, type 1 or type 2 or type 3 diabetes. That's like not acceptable, but you can do something about it. So obviously one of the first things I'm going to tell you to do is get out in that morning sun, huh, Carol? They got to get out after sunrise, even if it's overcast. I know it's hard when it's overcast. I have a hard time when it's overcast. Just a few days ago, it was overcast. When I got back from Florida, I did not go out. I felt it was too cold. So I'm guilty of not going out when it's overcast. I usually do go out, but this time I did not. Coming back from Florida, I just felt like it was too cold. And so I didn't go out. I was being wussy. Yes, that's a technical term. You can condemn me of being wussy. That's WOOSY, wussy, being a big wuss, because I was up early enough, but I was not willing to go outside. It was sprinkling a little bit, so I also didn't want to get wet because of my hair. You know, when you make up excuses, if you're looking for excuses, guess what? They're like belly buttons. Everybody's got one, right?
Yep.
If you're looking for excuses, you're going to find them. If you're not looking for excuses, then guess what? Then you won't have an excuse, and then you'll take the appropriate action. So I looked for an excuse. Oh, it's overcast. Oh, it's sprinkling. Because maybe if it wasn't sprinkling, I still would have gone out. To be honest with you, cold is a deterrent for me because I don't like being cold, but I sometimes subject myself. I oftentimes will take bike rides when I know it's freezing cold because I know that that is good for my body. It's tantamount to taking an ice cold bath and a cold shower or doing an ice bath, And I know that, when your body thinks it's like, oh, all of a sudden in the cold, your body goes, uh-oh, she's going to die. We got to like thermoregulate. We need to pull all that energy from her hands, from her arms, from her toes, from her legs. We need to bring it all into the middle. Yes, my friends and gems, you're probably becoming aware why it is so good for you to be cold when you do those ice baths, because all the energy gets focused in your torso, going all to your heart, to your lungs, to your liver, to all your vital organs, which is what is so beneficial about that. So I will subject myself to going out in the cold. Some of you are laughing at me going, Lillian, you live in California. How cold can it be? Come to Chicago. It's 30 below on a regular basis. Come to Canada. I have my Canadian friends who laugh at me because they're like, oh yeah, it's 30 below here for months at a time. I don't know how human beings live in 30 below. Why would you subject yourself to 30 below? And then they very politely and very kindly and with a very gentle laugh, because most of them are genius mystic healers. They're my fellow meditators. They're like, well, I was born here, so I'm used to it.
And it's drier. It's a drier cold.
Yeah, that's what they say too. And they're like, okay, yeah. So we go from our houses, we're in our cars, which are in our garage. And, we sometimes don't even go out to the elements. Sometimes we have to go shovel the snow to get out, but we'll get into our car and then we'll go straight to the office, go straight into the office. You're only outside for maybe a minute or two, I'm told. And so it's very limited time that they're exposed to the elements. So the bottom line is that it's all relative. I was born in Los Angeles. I'm really an island girl. My ancestry, we all came from the islands. We came from the island of Sicily, which is the largest Mediterranean island in the world. My grandparents moved to New York because everybody's grandparents moved from Europe to New York. Let's be real about that. Or everyone comes in through New York. And then they went to Puerto Rico because it's, once I lived in Sicily, I'm like, that's why I always thought, why did they go to Puerto Rico? Of all the Virgin Islands, they could have gone to St. Thomas, St. Croix. Well, no, when you look at the island of Puerto Rico and you look at the terrain, It's actually very similar to Sicily. I'm like, oh, I get it. You know, if you've ever been to Italy, you look at the architecture and so forth. Anyhow, enough about my making sense of my ancestry and what my people do. But the bottom line is I am an island girl. I love the warm weather. My favorite vacations are to like Cancun and to places where there's very beautiful blue water, like Aruba, going to places like Florida. I mean, I really like traveling everywhere, to be honest with you. I also like the contrast, but I am a little bit more warm-blooded and not very, as you know, I can do a week or two, obviously, in snow, no problem. But to live there, I don't think so. That's not going to be it's not my jam, as they say. So what can people do with regards to offsetting the blue light toxicity that you're getting from your desktop, your laptop, your iPad, notepad, cell phone, and all the other LED components in your home and your work, and whenever you're out in public environment, as well as your vehicles, including boats? Well, it's very easy. In your home environment, what I would recommend you do is you go to Amazon, because in the stores you can't get nothing but LED lights for your home to light it up. So LED lights, halogen lights, and fluorescent lights all cause this blue light toxicity, causes the increase in inflammation and an increase in insulin resistance, which, if you have a compromised pancreas, it's going to be a big issue for you. So it's important to get out in that morning sunlight. Number two, I would recommend getting incandescent bulbs. Okay, you can't get it at the store. Guess what? Thank goodness we have Amazon. They deliver worldwide. And that's where I get my red and my clear incandescent light bulbs. And I think I've shown to you guys before, the reason why you see a little bit of a red hue and a little bit more light on one side than the other is because I actually have a floor lamp. The floor lamp has a clear incandescent bulb, and then the lights above me are all red. They have two clear ones. Normally during the day, I turn them on. Today, I don't have them on. And the rest are 4 red incandescent bulbs, which if you give me a brief moment here, I will show you a quick picture of what they look like, because somebody recently asked me, it's like, well, what do your bulbs look like? They're just plain clear. They're kind of big bulbs. And I will show you, it's probably faster if I just take a picture of oh, here we go. So this is what my lighting looks like.
Excuse me, Lillian, I'm sorry. I have to leave right now. It's important, but I love this. I'm so glad you're recording it, and I will certainly finish listening to it.
All right, sounds good. Good. We will continue without you, and I hope everything is okay, and we'll talk to you a little later.
Yeah, and check. And Carolyn Bradley might be trying to get on. I don't know. Anyway,
Okay.
bye-bye for now.
All right, bye-bye for now.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Okay. So my friends and gems, I was just showing you, these are the incandescent bulbs. I get them through Amazon. I buy, as you can see, I have 6 bulbs, 2 of which are clear. You can see that 2 of them are clear, and the other 4, which are actually on, are red. And they're all clear bulbs. And so that way I get that infrared light, which is so beneficial to you, which is what your body is on the inside, is infrared light. Is that not cool? And so that starts to offset some of the LED lights that you have in your home environment. Okay. So, like I said, get up in the morning and get sunlight unrobed in the morning. So the closest thing for me being unrobed is to wear a bikini. So I wear a bikini, but sometimes during the year, it is too cold to wear a bikini outside. It is just absolutely too cold. So what do? I wear short shorts and I wear a tank top, and then no sunglasses. You're not going to wear any sunscreen. The whole idea is, because actually sunscreen is very damaging to the layers of your skin. People think they're getting protection from skin cancer, and nothing can be further from the truth. There's so much research now to show that. That's another rabbit hole that if you want to, you can do your own research and look up the scientific studies and clinical studies on that. Dr. Jack Kruse, my mentor, tells you that the only reason why we have that is to keep dermatologists employed, and you know, that whole sea wheel that is kind of going on. But the bottom line is you want your skin to breathe. The other thing for you to know is that regular soap destroys vitamin D in your skin. So yes, that's another thing to notice. So regular soaps, got to be careful the type of soaps that you use to cleanse your body, because the soap that you use and body washes will kill the vitamin D in your skin that you're getting from the sunlight. and that's not good either. So, I tend to use more Castile soap and baking soda. And when you start to get used to using Castile soap and baking soda, you don't really need the lather and the bubbles. There's a lot of garbage fillers that are in detergents, that are in soaps, just because people have been conditioned to have the bubbly lathering. You don't really need that aspect of, the cleaning agent for it to clean your body. So once you start to get used to these things and you start, again, doing your own due diligence, you're responsible. I love what my mentor, Bill Nasby, used to say, where does your primary control lie? You're probably going, well, that's kind of a strange question to be posing right now, but not really. I will connect the dots for you. So where does your primary control lie? In your ability to respond with ability. That's your responsibility. And I will say it again, because the first time I heard it, I couldn't believe my ears. And I had to have Bill, the bald eagle, say it again. In fact, I said, what, 3 times to him. He kind of looked at me. It's like, don't you speak English? In this funny Canadian brogue. So where does your primary control lie? In your ability to respond with ability is your responsibility. Yes, my friends and gems, you might want to play this back over and over again. In fact, maybe I'll make a video clip just about that, because I remember the first time I heard that, it was like, what? Oh my gosh. That was like such profound, it was like this massive light bulb that went off in the room in a flash. And I couldn't believe what had just come out of his mouth. And I thought, our primary power lies in our ability to respond with ability. That's our, not yours, not hers, not theirs, not they, not them. It's my responsibility. My response with ability is my responsibility. So the reason why I am exactly where I am is my responsibility. It's my fault. I get the benefit and the consequence of that. And that's true for every single one of us. That is our divine right selected power, our God-given power, if you will, because God gave us free will to use and to choose how to focus on either what we don't want, which I always equate that with the East and going left, where things are getting infinitely worse, or turning the other cheek to the right, to the west, where things are getting infinitely better. And the choice really is yours. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. So I'm going to wrap this up here right now. I wanted to just share these things about LED lights because not enough people are talking about how LEDs destroy your DHEA, fountain of youth hormone, increase inflammation. Oh my, that is so horrible. Increasing inflammation inside of your body. And number 3, causes insulin resistance. Those are 3 terrible things that LED lights. And when you don't know, you don't know until now, where you do know. And now you can do something about it. And you can start to take action, knowing that you're going to improve your light environment, and you can change the lights of the primary area where you spend the most time. Like, this is my primary light environment, is right here. That's why I have incandescent bulbs here. And then I have also switched out my bulbs in my bedroom, because then that's where I sleep, 6 hours every night. So I need to make sure, of course, it's usually in the dark, but there are times that I do have to turn lights on. I don't want LEDs turning on at any time in my bedroom. So then I have that, plus I have some Himalayan salt rocks that also light up that environment, which do just a beautiful dandy job. And so you might want to look into that for yourself. And Dr. Jack Kruse, again, my mentor, his whole house, he's got red, and you can see I've got the violet lights too. He does red and violet lights, and I do too. I've got some violet lights over here, you'll see back here. On the camera, sometimes it looks purplish, sometimes it looks bluish, but it's actually, in fact, violet purple colored lights. So those are the 2 great lights to have in your home. Plus, I must say, it gives a very interesting look to your house. If you do a little study on lighting environments, you will see that as you use different lights to light up your light environment, it gives it a nicer, more elegant, more interesting, intriguing look. And I got to tell you, it doesn't feel good when you're under fluorescent lights. It really doesn't. And you look green, you feel green. It's just not good. Same thing with halogen lights. Halogen lights, fluorescent lights, LED lights, no bueno. So that's it. Thank you for tuning in, tapping and turning on. If you know of someone who might enjoy this content, I really, really would appreciate if you could do me a big favor. Like this video, if it's on YouTube, if it's on any other post, please hit either a like, or if you have the option of a heart, put a heart, because I give you a lot of my heart in all of these broadcasts, and it warms my heart to be able to share with you this content. And of course, that helps the algorithm. Hit that notification bell so you get notified the next time another video is posted up. And as always, my beautiful friends and gems, ciao for now. And if you would like to get in touch with me, know that you can reach me on my hotline. If you want to get the To Get Started text with regards to stem cell activation patches, of course, you can always reach me there. I'm going to flash that number here right now. Check out that number. You can reach me there or put a comment below. I will always make sure to respond to all the comments here. If you don't hear back from me in the comments within 24 hours, be sure to call me on this number. All right, my friends and gems. Ciao for now. Bye. Happy Fun Day Friday.